Hey. No more discussion what we're going to talk about.
Welcome back to Twintaro. I'm David.
I'm Gary.
And we weren't discussing what we were going to talk about when I hit the record button. I tell you, this is the production value in this broadcast is.
You almost had a behind the scenes.
Up here, man. Everything else is up here, but we're up here, man.
If we can figure out how to edit effectively, we really could take it up there.
Well, I think I've got the ability to do editing. It says record only, and there's an edit function. I don't know what that does. Never played with it.
I did edit some of those Christmas snowing scenes from Thanksgiving that I put out on the channel.
Oh, thank God.
So, yeah, exactly. Hey, I had to stitch together several videos. That was stretching my abilities to the max.
Anyway, so what are we talking about on this reading?
We're going to talk about the free press and how much we love them.
And maybe they should be paid under a subscription wall so we're not required to see them.
God, wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah, we should charge them a subscription wall. Leave us alone. So I was talking to David because I had seen this article and someone had mentioned it in the comments of our video today, which is doing really well, actually.
We record this on Sunday, December 22nd at noon Pacific time.
Yeah, so
standard time, if you really want to be.
Exactly.
Get into my pet peeves that people write PDT or PST when we're not. They write PST when we're in PDT and PDT when we're in PST. Just drop the middle letter. Just write PT.
Yeah.
Let everybody else sort it out if it's standard time or daylight savings time.
Well, Trump wants to get rid of daylight savings time, but
or does he want to get rid of standard time?
Well, that was the thing is he wants to end the clock switching, but I don't know what he wanted to end up on. Whether
in California, we voted for that a couple of years ago, and they haven't implemented it because the idiots that came up with the proposition didn't say if we would be going to standard time or daylight savings time. So here we are, years later, still switching the frickin' clocks.
Yep. No one likes it, but no one can agree on whether we go to daylight.
I will dictate. We will go to standard time, and we will like it. That's why it's called standard time.
Exactly. Anyways,
daylight savings time.
Getting back to what we were talking about.
Daylight savings time.
There was a GOP congresswoman in Texas named Kay Granger, who, since the summer, has been in a mental health facility.
She's got dementia.
So she hasn't been actually being a congresswoman for the last 6 months of her term. And, no one's saying anything about it. It's now just starting to make news in the press, right? People are kind of like, well, where is she? And no one was. Ooh.
When I read on it, somebody tipped off the Dallas Express, not the USFL team, but the news agency. They located her in there. And apparently, no, she had been out since July. The story goes that she was found wandering the street disoriented, and so they brought her to this facility, or she ended up in this facility. But like her office in Texas shut down, her office in DC, just all the calls go to voicemail, and the whole staff hasn't been there for months. So it's not like the GOP didn't know she wasn't there and likely knew where she was because the staff had to have known by that point, but they weren't saying anything, and the press wasn't exactly, digging deep and following up until somebody tipped off the Dallas Express and made things a lot easier for them,
Yeah, and what was getting up my nose was there's also a recent article in the Free Press, we'll call it corporate media from now going forward.
Yes, or legacy media.
How they were all up in arms that, Joe Biden, his aides knew that he had some mental health issues and that he was becoming forgetful, and they hid it for the last 4 years, and all this outrage. It's just like, okay, the guy's in his 80s, he's mentally slowing down. We can all see that.
Yeah.
But he's still very capable of doing the job. He's not in a mental health care facility. They didn't spirit him away in the middle of the night.
Ronald Reagan, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We didn't know it at the time, obviously, but Ronald Reagan, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. There's no one that's going to argue that Reagan was suffering from mental, Alzheimer's or dementia the last couple of years of his office,
Yeah.
his last term. So it's just the press really gets up my nose because
that's a really strange example. Are you doing coke these days, Don Jr.? Should I call you Gary Jr.?
Well, there was another part of my anatomy they get up, but I figured.
How about the sticks in your craw? That might work. Right, go so old school there.
They're a pebble in my boot.
Well, and again, who owns Legacy Media? A bunch of white super billionaires, and what do they want this world order to look like?
Yep.
They like Trump, and which explains why all the biases are coming in toward, Trump is a babbling word salad, and they say, he's talking in 5D chess or something like that. Biden, he mixes up there, and there, and they're all over him, even though phonetically they're the same when he's
exactly
his speech.
Yeah, there's
a double standard, huh?
I've got a Jello mold in the refrigerator that can outwit Trump.
It's sentient. They need to clean out his refrigerator more often.
What did you call it last time? Sentient cottage cheese?
I forget.
It's something like that. Someone loved that in the comments. You call it like a sentient cottage cheese or something like that.
Was they referring to Donald Trump?
Yeah, exactly. not Biden.
Yeah.
But so the other thing with the corporate media is they are losing viewership in a big freaking way.
And they've earned it. That's the find out portion of the F around.
Yeah, and we're going to do another video in the future, like in about half an hour.
Exactly after we're done with this one. If we ever start this one.
Yeah, on effing around and finding out. But I wanted to kind of take a look at the current energy of corporate media and then see what direction they're going. Because I think faux news entertainment is probably not losing viewership, or they're not losing much.
No, they haven't. The stories I've read is that Fox News has maintained their viewership, whereas left-wing media is just crumbling. And even Biden had like media over. I forget. It was like, instead of inviting legacy media, he invited Mr. Parnas, and he invited Midas Touch, and he invited probably David Pakman and others to come over and ask questions. And guess what? They didn't go after him about his age or his senility or anything along those lines. They asked questions. The little article I read said, funny how, why does the media think it's their job to take down the president?
Yeah.
And there you go. Why don't you start the reading off? Because I know you're all jazzed up to.
I am. I'm kind of jazzed and jacked up about it. So, yay, I'm bigger. It's all me.
I'm going to mute you again.
I saw Mom yesterday. She wants to have a word with you about that. Okay, so let's take a look at corporate media and what's the current energy around corporate media.
I'm wearing double underwear, so if she does get out the wooden spoon, I'm protected.
You might want to stuff a magazine in between the layers.
I'm wearing an adult diaper. That ought to really soften the blow.
Hopefully it's empty. Okay, so we've got the foundation of the rating is the 8 of Pentacles.
Making money.
It's normally you're hard at work, but I think Dave kind of really put the finger right on it. They're hard at work earning more
making money.
It used to be back in the Walter Cronkite days where journalistic integrity was everything. You didn't come rushing out with a story unless you had all your facts straight. Not anymore. The internet age gets whoever gets the story out first wins and gets all the money.
We can also be annoyed by William Randolph Hearst with his yellow journalism too. Just saying.
Well, hey, the original oligarch. Okay.
Yeah, right.
The challenge is the 8 of Swords, but we don't know any way other than making money.
Well, that could be your reporters right there. What do you do when they want to do hard-hitting investigative reporting, and you've got like the LA Times? You got the owner of the LA Times saying he wants to see all the editorials before they get published, and he wants to make sure they're fair and balanced by having an equal number of. If editors are critical of Trump, they have to have an equal number praising dear leader. Okay. By the way, if you're ever in California, Hearst Castle is an amazing visit. Just saying. I've been twice. I love going to Hearst Castle.
Oh yeah, down in San Simeon. Yeah, but that's exactly it. The owners are focused on profits. The reporters are like, we used to have integrity, and they're kind of, their hands are tied. They're not allowed to speak the truth that they want to speak. Underneath it is the Queen of Swords. It's the energy we're not seeing is, you should just be sticking to the facts. This is what happened. Report it as it happened. Not every single story needs to be an opinion piece.
Where's Jack Webb when you need him?
Yeah, just the facts. In the past, we got the Seven of Wands. Corporate media was they were defending themselves against entertainment, I guess, for lack of a better term. That's where I'm going with it. The Fox Entertainment is not a news channel. It is an entertainment channel. So they can come up with the wildest and craziest stories, and they can't get sued. They can't get sued effectively because, no one in their right mind would believe that Fox was actually being serious with that. And so, they're out there, they're trying to defend their market share, but they're losing it to Fox because Fox doesn't play by the same rules. Current situation is the lovers. They're coming to agreements. They're like, hey, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. We can do pro-Trump right-wing propaganda just as well as Fox Entertainment can. And you're starting to see that with the owners. Wasn't Musk looking at buying MSNBC?
Yeah, the MSNBC is, I don't know if it's up for sale. I think he offered to buy them.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're up for sale. Doesn't mean they're going to sell it to him either. But, he's already destroyed Twitter. So, it would give him a right-wing TV platform with which to launch his views of the world to recruit more fanboys.
Mm-hmm. So it's just, the corporate media, they're making agreements with each other. This is how we're going to handle it. I'm sure that Fox Entertainment has a target on their back, and CNN, MSNBC, they're shifting to the right, and they're trying to take away their audience. And these left-leaning news outlets are coming to agreement that we're going to start taking away the more mainstream right-wingers and leave Fox maybe as a MAGA only. Overarching energy is the Kim Cups. They're trying to balance their need for money with their emotions. It's the owners want the money. They want the ratings. They want the advertising dollars. But it's also the way you gain the audience is by playing to their emotions and getting them riled up and fearful and angry, and then they start tuning in. It's funny because on this channel, I think people tend to watch it because they want to calm down, because they're getting so riled up by what they're being fed on corporate media that they're looking for something to provide some relief.
Sarcasm works a lot with that too.
Yeah, sarcasm. There's the minor arcana. The lesson to be learned is the Two of Cups. It's like, maybe you don't need to go to the major outlets. You can find something smaller and more local that meets your needs. Outcome. Tower. Well, if you've got stock in some of these major media companies, you might want to consider how long you want to hold it. The tower is basically, this is going to start crumbling on them. We're already, it's like Dave mentioned, you're already seeing the viewership for places like MSNBC and CNN is they're losing like half of their viewers. And those viewers are starting to tune into places like Midas Touch or some of these other alternative alternative sources for news and entertainment. And it's going to continue until they get their act together again, until they start building some credibility. Your thoughts?
No, I'm seeing it. It's what's happening. To me, I want to read on the energy of the owners of currently left-leaning media, because there's only, it's like either they're gonna run out of runway,
yep,
with what they've got, and you have to look at like from MSNBC. I'm going to use them because they're CNN tried to move towards the center. For what it's worth, MSNBC was the last holdout for left-leaning. Now you think of like Rachel Maddow or Lawrence O'Donnell, Mika and Joe with Morning Joe in the morning. Although they torpedoed themselves, that was a self-own there. Will they be able to afford paying the salaries of a Rachel Maddow or a Lawrence O'Donnell when they've lost half their viewers?
Yeah.
And the answer is going to be no. They're not. They'll either have to cut their pay or cut them loose. More likely, they'll cut them loose and hire somebody else to give their messaging. But it's I want to go into the energy of the owners of like MSNBC, for instance, and how are they feeling right now as they watch this hemorrhaging? Because the only other direction they go is to the right and try and steal Fox viewers.
Yeah, exactly.
And be more Fox than Fox, and you got Newsmax and OAN who are more Fox than Fox, but they're just holding on. They're not exactly, and Fox isn't being threatened by them.
Yeah, and this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, clearly. So I want to read the energy of the owners of MSNBC and see how what are they feeling right now as we go through all this. The magician, manifestation, or the illusion's broken here. I think they're trying to figure out how do we recover from this, or how do we reinvent ourselves from this issue, because the viewers have spoken. How do you get them back when the viewers have quite clear? And it's also kind of it's not we report the news, we tell you what the news is that we want to report. We've got this reversed. They want to get their viewers back, but they can't let go of we will show you what you need to see. That's the problem they're coming against, is their editing, their agenda that they've got across there. It's no longer reporting the news. It's showing you the news that we want to see so that we can keep rolling in the do-re-mi. Mm-hmm. How do we keep our money going here? In the past cups, you want outrage sells advertising. It just does. And Trump, when he came in 2016, was a ratings boon, not only for right-wing media, but also for left-leaning media as well. And the more outrage you sell, the more money you make. And so it got to the point where, hey, we know how to make money. We will show them nothing but outrage, and you stop getting the news. Current situation is the Ten of Cups. In this election, they got what they wanted. They wanted Trump in there because Trump makes some money. So they were happy when Trump got elected. What they weren't expecting, though, was the mass exodus that was going to come from that. I don't think that was expected. If anything, I suspect they thought there would be more people coming to MSNBC because people are stressed the hell out and they want Rachel Maddow or Lawrence O'Donnell to tell them everything's going to be better. After Morning Joe went down there to kiss the ring, they can't go to Joe Scarborough anymore, hoping for even a Republican who is a staunch conservative saying, Trump is Looney Tunes. overarching energy is the Nine of Swords. Now, it's a nightmare of their own making. They manifested this. They did this to themselves. An absolute self-own. And the lesson to be learned is the Queen of Swords. Lived by the sword, died by the sword. You chose this path. Amen. And you chose that because you wanted money, for wealth and power and control. You've lost the narrative. You've lost the ability to keep people enthralled, and now you're paying the price. Outcome is the Page of Pentacles. They're just going to lose a ton of money. This is, to me, it's like the advertisers reduce. The advertisers are either going to basically stop advertising, which is what's going to happen, or they're going to demand they pay way less because you don't have the eyeballs on there.
Yeah, it's like they have to start all over.
Pretty much, and that's kind of this is that it's going to be it's a cyclical effect that you did this. It's like how is it? In California, we have fire seasons, and part of it's for the health of the forest because a lot of California trees require fires, like the pines up in the Sierra Nevadas, require fires to release the seeds from the cones that are dropped.
Yeah.
And the fires also wipe out all the shrubs and grass and the vegetation in the area, which gives and it makes it a rich soil environment for these seeds to grow into new trees. And the older trees, they might die because of the fire. And so you turn a forest into a meadow, and then that meadow will become a forest again. It's just the cycle of life. The corporate media or legacy media here has started their own fire, and they're going to be burned down.
Yeah,
it'll grow something new, but the guys that are making all the money right now are not going to be the ones making money in the future unless they reinvent themselves. And if they're going to do that, they better get on the schneid, or they're going to miss out.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there is a lot more heading towards the internet as far as getting news.
You have to say the internet. Laser beams.
So like Midas Touch seems to be, I'm sure they lost some viewership, but they're probably have recovered that.
Brian Tyler Cohen also, just throwing on another name who's got like millions of followers.
Yeah, exactly.
And Brian Tyler Cohen has a Spanish-speaking channel because he wants to reach out to the Latino communities as well. No, it's not enough to just spread your message to English-speaking people. This is a worldwide issue.
Yep. So, it's the change is coming. It's not going to be the same anymore, and eventually Fox is going to succumb to this as well.
You'd have thought the first $800 million settlement with
Dominion.
Dominion, thank you. I was going to say Smartmatic, but I knew that wasn't right. With Dominion was enough, and they settled with Smartmatic, as I recall. So they're in the clear there. But I guess for Rupert Murdoch, that was just the price of doing business.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll make it up.
Yeah,
we'll make it up in advertising. All right, that's enough. You got any sage? I only got basil. That's not going to work, I don't think.
Well, maybe I've got an extra sage here. Pardon me for a second. Bust into the cabinet of doom. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Look at that. Who thinks that's going to be a great Christmas present for Gary? You've got white sage, a feather, and a abalone shell bowl with which to cut the for saging your home house saging kit.
Well, if that's going to be for me, that's fine. But make sure the abalone shell has got some abalone in it, because that'd be a spectacular.
You're so particular. All right. Anything else? Or are we going to wrap it up?
I think we've killed enough of their time today. They're done with that first cup of coffee.
I picked up this abalone shell in Morro Bay. It's a red abalone shell, so you can see the beautiful red color on one side of it, and and you've got the mother of pearl on the other side, and now I've got little abalone shell detritus on my desk.
That is just only going to improve the quality of your readings.
Clearly, or it's going to make a mess. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting our channel. We appreciate it.
Yes, give us a thumbs up if you like this. Subscribe. We put out a new video at midnight Pacific time, currently Pacific Standard Time. And leave a comment. I read them all and I respond to as many as I can.
And we hope you, again, these readings are for entertainment purposes only, but we do hope you find them insightful, and we'll catch you on the next video. So have a good one.
The card is the 8 of Pentacles. So get out there and let's work hard and let's bring things of value to our family and our friends.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.